Welcome at an undisclosed location somewhere in North America. Bobcat Bower! We live off the grid and we love it here. Today is a special day. I'm looking forward to this. Every day here is a special day actually. I love to share the joy of it. We have plenty of trail cams, but we can always have more. So I have ordered some more trail cams. They have arrived. And I didn't actually have enough memory chips for all of them. I forgot that they didn't come with memory chips. So we have 3 new trail cams to set up today. And we're going to find some nice locations that we can have some hope for getting good wildlife. Really, we could set them up almost anywhere and we'd have a chance at wildlife, of course. But we'd like to set them up somewhere scenic or where we've had some hints of wildlife in the past. I've already gone ahead and put the batteries and set up all 3 of these trail cams. Just by way of explanation, a few things that I do with the trail cams are as follows. I do both photo and video. I have it just take one photo and then shoot the video, and that acts as kind of like a place marker. If I do all videos, I have to click on each individual one, but also I like the photos. Sometimes I blow them up and put them up on the wall and everything. So I do one photo and then the video. The video is 10 seconds long. We could make it longer. But what I do is, instead of a 10-second delay between shooting, there's no delay. So if something stays on camera, it should just roll into the next 10 seconds and just keep recording, so we don't lose anything that way. I go with the highest quality photo, I go with the highest quality video. Because I go out and I check the trail cams fairly often, I have no fear of running out of memory or anything like that. For motion detection, I put it on medium. If it's too sensitive, then just like light changes, I should say, the play of shadows, whatnot, will set it off. So medium is probably going to catch anything of any real significance. So anyways, come along with me today. Help me set up these new trail cams, and be sure to share with me your thoughts if I chose some good spots, or if you would have chose other spots that we see along the way. I have 2 more trail cams that I need to get memory chips for, to put out there, and plus I may be ordering more. It's just such a strong temptation for me that if you have ideas, you see something on this walk that you think, hey, there should be a trail cam there, let me know, and I'll put that in the brain. I'll try to make that happen. Okay. So anyways, let's go for it. Here is one of my lovely assistants. I take turns bringing them. This is Pepper, the younger of the puppies. She's a good girl. Good girl, Pepper. Good girl. And she's, of course, very full of energy. And she takes herself for walks. She likes to hold her own leash. We're out here in the wild, so there's no harm in that. It's another beautiful day at Bobcat Bower. Here's some of our woods. Trees are fairly small. I don't know, 30, 40 feet high. There's a good variety of different types of trees here. It's probably about 45 degrees today. There's a wind. It's gray out, but you can still see the sun up in the sky to a limited extent. But it's an absolutely beautiful day for a walk. The snow has thinned down some, but I'm still wearing boots. This is one of the entrances, or if you come from the opposite side, one of the exits of the maze that I built. It's not very maze-like this time of year. It needs to get overgrown. We need the foliage to come back. Oh, there just went a ruffed grouse. We flushed a ruffed grouse. They're cute. So there's one of the ways in. So look how deep the snow is. I'm probably standing on close to 3 feet of snow right now. 3.5 feet maybe over here. If you look, it's kind of interesting. Near the trees, all the snow is melted. You see the circles around each of the trees, around the base of the tree. So basically the brown of the trees, I think, absorbs the sunlight, warms up the trees, or possibly they're getting the warmth from the ground as well, and then it melts the snow around them. Maybe that gives them a head start on the year. Whoa, I just went through the snow. Oh, and back up I go. So before, when I was out here, I had snowshoes, and rightly so. I didn't think I'd need them today, but we'll see how many times I go through the snow. There's actually a path here, you can't really tell. I'm going to need to come in here and trim to reform the path. The maze requires maintenance every year, of course, or it will get overgrown. Nature will take back its own. Here the path widens. Now, this here tree right up ahead, I did have a trail cam there, and it actually did catch quite a few things on it. However, where it was directed was towards this wide open area. So of course, you know, there's deer coming through, there's bobcat. There's a reason why we call it Bobcat Bower here. There's all sorts of things that we catch. But the problem was that it doesn't catch them in detail. A lot of times they're too far away. I like to really see the animal in detail if I can. So that's sort of the balancing act. You know, as you narrow it down, you're going to get a better view, but you may spot fewer animals. Look at all these trees. I mean, I just, again and again, over and over, can't believe it that we own all these trees. They're all ours. It's just amazing to me. So this summer I'm going to show you what the maze looks like once I've re-maintained it, and when the foliage, when it's all overgrown, it's really maze-like. Then you can't see between the paths, and you can't see what's around the next corner. It's a lot of fun. And I come out here, I can go for, you know, half an hour walk through the maze on all the different paths. If I'm moving, you know, slowly. If I'm moving fast, it'd be more like 15-20 minutes. Then, you know, you can kind of sneak up on wildlife, and if you're quiet, you know, you're listening to all the birds, and it's really wonderful. Oh my. Wow. All right, so look at this. Do you see them? These are huge bird prints. All right, so they're clearly bird footprints because they're 3, right? So look at it compared to my hand. I've got a fair-sized hand. And look, it's not as big as my hand, but it's almost as wide as my hand. And it's probably just like maybe 2 inches less long. That's a bird. That's a giant bird. I can only guess that it's a wild turkey, but it's got to be like a grandfather male of a wild turkey. Those are some huge prints. Wow, that's cool. Here's one of our maze intersections, arguably at least close to the entrance to the maze. You could even call it the entrance to the maze. So we come in through here where those trees are kind of leaning against each other, and we'd arrive here, and at this point you can take a left where we came from. You can go straight. We call it the Green Boulevard. It's nice and wide and so green. Looks like something you would golf on during the summer. And there's a path here that takes it into like a real deep dark area, shadowy, when it's overgrown, obviously, when it's summertime. And that's really beautiful. That's the moss lane. There's a lot of moss down on the ground. It's really wonderful. Now this lane here goes along the outskirts of the maze and leads to another trail cam and leads to some more wild areas. And we've got some really good footage in that direction. Things like black bear, bobcat, just wonderful. It's kind of like a central area. A lot of coyotes come through here, wild turkeys, deer, just everything. And they use these paths. These paths seem to be sort of like wildlife superhighways. All right, so let's go down this way. Because there are 2 locations down here where I'd like to put 2 of the trail cams. Oh, there's Pepper. Here she comes. Who's a good girl? Pepper Papadopoulos. You're a good girl. Let's go. Let's go. She's bounding about, full of joy. We have a trail cam here. That's great, scenic for catching anything coming through this arched area. In this case, it caught me. Keep going down this path. It's really pretty thick here and giving away under my feet at times. Come on, Pepper. Pep, it's full of pep. Oh, what a good girl. So this path was here when we moved in years ago, and they used it for you know, 4-wheelers and that type of thing. There were a few ruts and that's all good. We don't go 4-wheeling. We like the hiking, that type of thing. I maintain it. I come down here with shears and whatnot, and branches that are growing in the way, I cut them away. Do that a couple times during the spring, summer, fall. I also take a 0-turn mower down here. That's kind of a bumpy adventure. I've gotten stuck a couple times. There's a bit of a risk factor. And when you get it stuck, you gotta get unstuck on your own because you're not gonna get any kind of vehicle here probably. There's different ways of getting it unstuck. All these trees, so many trees. I love trees. I think everybody loves trees. What's not to love? They give shade, habitat for all sorts of animals and critters, fruit and nuts, firewood. I love our wood stove. Trees are fantastic. There's such a variety of them. Here there is a variety, but also, you know, in the world there's an incredible variety. Still walking. All this is our property. It's incredible. Off the grid. Wild, private, secluded. That's a nice tree. Be a good one to set up a trail cam at. You know, at an angle with animals passing by. Or you could set a trail cam on a nearby tree and actually focus it on that group of trees, if it's a single tree or a group of trees. And then, oh, ruffed grouse, there it goes. Wow. Good job. Good job, Pepper. You flushed the grouse. Oh, that was good. They're all over, they're beautiful. But yeah, if we had a trail cam on one of these trees, then it would show when that ruffed grouse came here, when it settled in, if there was other ones visiting it, you know, whatever else going on. So, something to think about. Let me know if you think I should put one there. Now, as you can see through the trees there, kind of a white area of snow. It looks like it's opening up a little bit. That's because it does. It's sort of wetlands down there. You know, it's walkable. But I have found things kind of steer clear of the wetlands. They're either, you know, down in the water, or they're sticking with the trees on the edge of it. So the trail cams just focused out on the wetlands. don't usually catch all that much. You know what? I got off track here. I'm taking a path that is not a path. I left the path. Not a problem though. Here's a nice group of trees. Bigger, older trees. All right, we're coming to the first spot where I'd like to put a trail cam, and let me explain why and what of. Now, we have a bridge here. It's actually starting to rot, has a few issues. I'm gonna have to replace some of the boards, and obviously it's not a fancy bridge. Gets the job done though, you can get across. Now, if you look over at that tree, there's a trail cam, and of course the visual opportunity I was hoping for is animals using the bridge, which I have caught at times. However, if you look at this tree, as you go up the tree, you'll see some bare bark. And way up there, very bare bark. And around at the base, there's all sorts of wood chips. So what's been going on? Well, woodpecker. And it could be one of those huge woodpeckers, like the woody woodpecker type of woodpeckers, with the big red head. I can't remember what it's called. It's at the tip of my mind. But I would love to get some video of him or her or it. So what I want to do is set up a trail cam, maybe on this tree here, and have it angled up so it's catching that particular part of the tree. And then hopefully we'll get a bird. Get a woodpecker, a big one. So I will make that happen right now. Okay, I have the trail cam set up now. It's on the tree, and I am hoping that I have a view of that bare area where most likely a woodpecker is coming back, returning. It has returned a number of times for sure, because as we got more snow, more of these wood chips came down. And I think that they do the work of getting that outer bark off, and they've invested, and they remember where it is. They come back to do some more work on it and get some sleeping bugs out of there or whatever else. So hopefully it's within frame. And what I did is I put a piece of wood to angle this. There's a little bit of wood behind there. Angles it, jams it into place. Wind won't move it. This has a strap. There's a few ways that you can mount a trail cam. I mean, you wouldn't have to mount it at all if you braced it correctly in a tree. You can do a strap like this that kind of hugs a tree. So that's dependent on having trees, obviously. There's also things that you can screw in and then plant it. And that is really quite firm. It's good. It's not going to slip or anything. But the problem is, of course, you're drilling holes into trees. It's not quite as movable and all that. I really like this type of trail cam. It does a real good job. I've gotten some fantastic footage in the past. It's got these buckles. They seem to keep the moisture out very well. Easy to open. The SD card is one of the larger ones. I don't like the small ones because you just end up putting them into the larger ones anyways. So the larger ones are easier to handle. Sometimes I come out here in the middle of winter and my fingers get pretty numb. So it's just easier with these larger trail cams. So again, this is kind of a shot in the dark. I don't count on getting a woodpecker. I'm just hoping to get a woodpecker. And if I don't get the woodpecker coming back to that spot, we're really not going to get anything other than, crows or whatever else flying by. Pepper! Come here, Pepper! All right, let's find another location for the next new trail cam. All right, I have set up camera number 2. Let's take a look at it. So here it is on the tree, again using the strap. I do need to tie down that strap. I usually wrap it around, tuck it in, do whatever I need to do. We don't want to have the wind making the strap blow around because it could startle animals or drive them to not become a fantastic picture and video taking opportunity. Now on this one, I put the piece of wood on the top because rather than wanting to angle it up, I wanted to angle it a bit down. Animals are, after all, usually on the ground. Now, this scene is very pretty because we have a tree that has come out of the ground by the water, revealing some rocks underneath there, but it's a nice shadowy area. And also, these trees here basically form sort of like a natural bridge over the stream. So the hope would be to catch coyotes leaping across, or bobcats walking, or really anything else. Raccoons often will play on the water. That'd be fantastic to capture some video of that. It's a small stream, but it actually gets quite wide when there's more meltage going on. We have to do this view in the spring, because once it gets into summer, there will be so much undergrowth here, and it gets really wild and tall that it blocks view. It's very difficult to get good views. You can put the trail cam higher up on the tree, certainly, but then it's basically looking down to long grass and the animals are concealed. So it's not just that the undergrowth starts blocking the view, it's just that there really is no view. It's not going to detect movement. Can't see the movement other than maybe like the tops of weeds swaying and whatnot. So this is camera number 2. Oh, I wanted to show you one other thing that is cool. I find everything in the wilderness cool and interesting and fun. And in this case, certainly it's not going to activate the motion detector, but can you see that huge fungus? Huge shelf fungus on that tree. And it's got an orange around the rim. I wonder if I should cross and get a better look at it. I owe you guys a better look. I do have boots on. Yeah, the ice is creaking. We'll see. Oh! I just plunged in. Kerploosh. All right, we're getting closer. I made it across. All right, there it is. Look at that shelf fungus. Wow. It's big. See, look at it compared to my hand. It's huge. That thing is huge. It's got to be, you know, over a foot across. It's incredible. I love the orange stripe on it. I wonder how long it's been growing. I wonder if it's edible. I don't know anything about it other than it looks really neat. I don't know if animals feed on it. Doesn't look like anything's been taking any bites out of it. So apparently fungus goes somewhere between plant and animal, but is actually more similar to animals than plants. I found that out the other day from my son, actually. Here comes Pepper. Come here, Pepper. You can make it. Oh, plunges right across. She's a bold one. As I said, I tied down the strap so it doesn't float around on the breeze. All right, now I have a third camera. I told you that there's 2 places I wanted to put cameras, and I have placed them in those locations. The third one is wide open. It is not predetermined. Let's find a spot together. Now again, anywhere would be great because there's animals all over. They absolutely thrive at Bobcat Bower. It's incredible. But some places can be even better than others. Scenic. Let's take a look around. Won't make our decision too quickly. Now, at some point, it might be nice to have a camera down here. A little bit of a clearing, water. Animals come to drink at the water. There's some good trees for mounting cameras. This guy tree is really cool. I forget the name, but they keep their leaves all year long, or at least some of them. And just listen to the leaves for a minute as the wind goes through them. They're just rattling a little bit all the time. I believe this tree produces a nut as well, but I've never seen a nut on it. I don't know if the animals remove it or if I've heard wrong. See some shoots coming out. It's getting ready for the leaves. Senses the warmer weather. Oh, there's Pepper. Pepper! Come here, Pepper! I wonder if there's water there or not. I don't think there is. She should be okay. There you are. What a good girl. Oh, we're having a fun time. So great to be outside in the wilderness. Fantastic. Off the grid is a life for me. I love it. Absolutely incredible. So to me, off the grid is equivalent to loving nature and wildlife and the outdoors. I'm not saying you have to live off the grid to love those things, obviously, but it's an opportunity to be closer to those things. They're more convenient. You know, I basically experience them at least several times a day without even trying. I mean, just like going outside doing different things, let alone if I walk an extra minute, I'm in the woods, I'm in the wilderness. It's really, really, really wonderful. I highly recommend living off the grid if you can. In theory, a person could live on the grid and have like woods in their backyard, be next to a wooded area. I'm sure that's possible. But this location, absolutely the only alternative if you want to live here year-round. You have to be off the grid. I mean, you can't run power out here. It's too far away. It'd be too expensive to get the electrical lines out here. And then of course you've got, you know, power lines all over. And right now, you know, you see trees and birds, and you don't see anything man-made anywhere around. And I love that. A lot of these trees fall into the spooky old tree category. Oh, I see another fungus. Fungus among us. It looks like it is the same species, but a younger one. So, put my hand in there. There's the underside. It almost looks like something you'd find on the beach, doesn't it? And the top. There's Pepper struggling in the snow. Look at this tree. Wow, it's got charisma. Look at it. Now a tree like this with all the little spiky things on it, generally that's going to be an apple tree. And those little spikes where the apples come out. We're still looking for the perfect spot. You know, that is a beautiful tree though. We could do a trail cam here. You know, if there was a closer tree, like if there's one right here, I would do a trail cam just to see what is climbing up and down the tree. Could get possum, raccoons, who knows, squirrels, chipmunks, all sorts of things out here. That'd be a lot of fun to see. I don't really see a good, there are some other trees though. I mean, we could do it from this side, it's just not as picturesque. This tree would be pretty good. Got kind of a tangle, it'll probably get in the way of the view of some things. Well, again, I said we're gonna be picky. Let's be picky. Gotta find a real good one. There's a fallen tree there. A lot of times things will make their home in such locations. I would at some point like to get find a burrow where I know something is living there and put a trail cam outside of it and just kind of monitor their comings and goings. Like, hey, here's the average time they leave in the evening and come back in the morning, and here's what they're carrying back to their burrow. Here's how many babies they have, maybe. That would be cool. Another good tree. They're all good trees. This one's really deep out here. feel like we should have done that other tree. It's a little too wet down here. It's gonna get wetter. The water will get higher, and that will make it difficult to retrieve any footage from trail cams. So we gotta stay a little bit higher. Caving through the snow in different spots. Looking. Oh, there's Pepper. Now, this is actually possibly opportune because you could get an owl or something landing on here, or something climbing up it, or you might not get anything. You never know. This tree is here, but it's pretty small. But of course we can put it on the large tree. So we put it on the large tree, we angle it this way. If we get anything climbing on here or landing on here, we'd also get anything moving beyond. There's something walking through. So I think that's what we'll do. And if an owl were to land there, wow, that would be just incredibly picturesque. The odds are like, 1 in 1,000, but if it happens, it would be great. All right, I'm gonna set it up. Okay, I have set up the third new trail cam, and it's on a larger tree. Setting it up required me to get the band around, so I was doing that with arms on either side, connecting it, running it through, and then it was too far down, so I had to like work it up. So I was like shimmying it up on either side, going back and forth. Anyways, anybody coming by, it would look like I was hugging on that tree, or possibly doing more. So I am officially a tree hugger, or at least I sure look like one. So here is where it is. It's already on. That's what it looks like. Now it's got a view of this, and we'll get anything walking through the woods behind it, but mostly I want the detail of anything landing on here or running along here. Now, while I was setting it up, I found something curious. Actually, at the base of the tree, it was right in here, and it's wet, but I don't know if it's a fungus or not. It's as hard as wood, but it doesn't really make sense to be wood either, because it doesn't really look like it would have been part of a tree. It's not like snapped off or anything. Almost looks like a fat cornucopia. I don't know. I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna add it to my unusual things from the woods collection. Well guys, we've got 3 new trail cameras set up. So we're up to, I don't know, 17, something like that. But I would love to have 49, 95, somewhere in there. It's just endless, the types of things that we can see, the opportunities, the wildlife. It's just so beautiful and wonderful. I would love to have more trail cameras. So we'll see how it works out, and maybe at some point we'll add on to that. Now these trail cams, what I'm going to do is I'll leave them here undisturbed, probably for about a month. And in a month, there's no way that their memory will be taken up by then. But I can't wait longer than that, because I'll be so full of curiosity, most likely. And I'll come out and we'll retrieve these together, the memory chips, and then we'll see what's on them. But today I really wanted you guys to kind of see, my thought process as far as setting up the trail cams, my method. Not saying it's expert or anything like that, but just wanted to share that with you. Hey, if you've got any advice for me on, trail cam tips, things that have worked for you, or things that you'd like to see me do with the trail cams, let me know. I'm going to take that into account. Thank you very much. You guys have a great day, and bless you. Bobcat Bower! Bonus trail cam! That's right, I picked up another memory chip. And so let's go set up the 4th trail cam as well. So we have 4 new ones to come back and check on later on. I'm out here with one of my faithful, lovely assistants, Pepper, the younger of the puppies, the far more energetic. Going past the pond here, it's quite full. I had scouted out a location for this trail cam earlier in the week. I like to put them in scenic locations. The animals can go anywhere, of course. It could be next to any tree. You could set it up literally anywhere and you can get some animals on there. So I just like to have it so that it's focused on something just, you know, a little bit scenic, like a you know, creepy old tree or whatever else, so that if we get an animal on it, it looks all the more beautiful. And you'll see what I scouted out. Here's our path. It's all littered with, well, one of our paths, it's all littered with branches from the winter. Winter's real hard on these trees. They shed branches like crazy. So when it's warmer out, I'll come out here and I'll clear up all the branches and sweep it and whatnot. Plus I want to add on to our trail system. Today it's windy and either chilly or warm, depending on where you're coming from. To me it's pretty warm at 50, but you know, if you were used to warmer weather, you might think it was chilly. All right, good luck arch, natural arch. All right, over there I spy a great big boulder. Of course, the dream is to get animals that want to jump on top of it, or if, you know, they're just walking by, that's fine too. The boulder just adds a little element to it. Now in this case, we'd like to have or any case, we'd like to have a pretty solid seeming tree to add it onto, put it on. That should be big enough. This is actually even better. Wrap it around. And then get that spooky old tree in the background. Maybe we can get a raccoon climbing it or something. However, this tree, looks like there's some smaller ones in between, obscuring the view. We don't want that. So we'll put on this one, and it should end up looking right about like that, right across. Anything between this tree and that group of trees should catch. All right, I'll set it up. Here we have the setup trail cam and Pepper the puppy. So the loose ends I like to wrap around here so the wind isn't blowing them, scaring any animals. And you'll see I actually set up or put out a few old stale chips out here. Sometimes I'll do that. No harm in attracting the animals, give them back to nature. And we'll see if that gets any attention. We'll come back here in a few weeks and collect this memory chip at the same time as we collect the other 3 new ones. And we'll see if the 4 new locations pays off. Now, if we go like a month and they don't catch anything good, then we'll just you know, relocate the trail cams. There's pretty much a million different places that we can put them. But I built up a sort of like a loyalty thing. So a trail cam gets some really good footage, like of a black bear, bobcats, things like that. I'll be like, oh, remember when it got that? We got to keep the trail cam here. So I'm nothing if not loyal. Anyways, signing off. Have a great day. Bless you. And Bobcat Bower!